Welcome back YouTube, TutuUK here, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. You see from the title, MIG Switch, from Russia with love, or not as it may be, who knows, but it's finally arrived. I ordered this, Gordon Bennett, back in January of this year, 21st of January to be exact. They said I was on wave 3, so I caught wave 3 and it meant to be arriving in April, and we're now on the 22nd of May, so a month late. I don't know what's happened. Apparently all these are late. They're sort of starting to catch up now. Bit of background to this: I ordered it from the UK distributor, which is called Skin Pixel. They are no longer carrying this item. It's going to pop now, bing. They're no longer carrying this item. If you look at MIG Switch's website at the time, there wasn't an official UK distributor either, so I don't know what's gone on there. Clearly you can order it from elsewhere, but you may be sort of going to get some charges. 80 quid this was, so I'm not going to bore you to death because you can all find out this information for yourself, but let's move the camera around because we've done that. Let's put you up to the old switcheroo there, the screen. Yeah, so it literally is just a Switch cartridge, for those that don't know. And you've probably all seen videos like this. I'm not going to lament too much about the actual technology behind it, this, that, and the other. I mean, it's from Team Executor. For those of a certain age like me would probably remember them from the Xbox days. I think they were one of the first ones to mod the Xbox and stuff like that, their mod chips. But this is basically, it's not an R4 and it's not an R4 card. So despite what you may think it is, it's not that. Though basically you can buy a dumper, so you can dump your own cartridges and then play them on this. There is obviously a black market for ROMs, but it's not as it's hard to explain. It's not as straightforward as, let's say, the old R4 cards where you just drop a load of ROMs onto an SD card and then put them onto here, as I found out today. So there are a number of caveats with this. The ROM file needs to match, the certificate file needs to match, and there's I think a game ID that needs to match. I think two of those definitely need to match, otherwise it won't boot. And you can't get them to match. You can't sort of hack either of those files. They have to come from an original cartridge. So you can't play digital games, so you can't play stuff from the store, or digital only games, because it can't dump them and it can't generate those files. Not yet, anyway. Not yet. It's still early days. Don't forget, I've only just got this, literally today as we speak, which is the 22nd. And I was on wave 3. I know the people in probably outside the countries may have got them slightly earlier, but I would probably say that I probably jumped on it probably at the same time as most of the people maybe did. There are some clones that are due to be released, so this is going to gain momentum, but in its infancy, as we currently stand, you can only play physically dumped games. That's the best way to describe it. No homebrew, nothing like that. It's not a crack your Switch open and have at it. It's not that kind of an item, and I didn't really want to do that. And I know everyone's going, well, why don't you just get it custom firmware and do this? I didn't want that. I just wanted the Switch just to put something in and just to play the games. It's the only system I actually sort of play quote unquote current gen games on, because it's Nintendo. And that's all it's for. It's just to play games. I'm not looking to get all the fucking whole library, the whole Switch games or anything daft like that. No, it's just certain games that I want to play, and I can just play them, and that's all I'm bothered about. I'm not bothered about going online. If you use the how's the best way to describe it, the custom images off the internet, and you go online with this, chances are your console will be banned and blocked. So don't do that. You can't. There's no way to include DLC on this either. So again, to reiterate, it is just physical carts. Physical cart, dump, play on this. Physical cart, dump, play on this. DLC, digital games, hacked home firmware, fan translated. No. Not going to work. Don't think that. If that's what you're thinking, you're going to be sorely disappointed. So with that being said, in terms of its actual usage, it's a little bit fiddly. I'm not going to lie. I've still not got the knack of, because you have to eject. I don't know if you can be able to see this, but you have to eject and then reinsert it. There's a little LED that pops up here. Again, you'll see videos of this. I'm not teaching you anything new here, but it's a little bit fiddly. But chances are I'll put one game on, so to speak, and I'll keep it on that one game till I've played it. I'm not, again, I don't want this to be like a sort of mini console with like 10,000 Switch games on it. It's not what it's about for me. So without further ado, I have got some some games. So I'll just show you it in action, I suppose. I mean, there's not a great deal to look at. It just comes up and it loads up. Some games will sort of say there's an update. I have updated 2 of them. There are conversations and theories that some people will be retrospectively banned because Nintendo log everything and they'll know that you kind of haven't got the cartridge and that you're using the sort of, like I told you, that the 3 files that are a bit that are needed, and they know that you're using I think it's like a certificate and a data.bin file, so it will log those and it will know that you're using those hooky ones. I don't know, we'll see what it means if your Switch gets banned. It's not your account, it's the actual physical device, so it can't go on the internet, so it can't get updates. Still play games, but you're kind of like, it's just in isolation, like an old console, so to speak, with no internet connection, like a Mega Drive. It's like that. So no updates. So like I say, I'll try and change the camera angle and I'll just show you it in action. Not that it's anything spectacular, but just show you that it does work. Oh, I should have mentioned, it runs on micro SD cards. Again, if you're going down this route, sort of contrary to popular thought, the bigger the memory card, not so much the better, because it means you're having to insert and eject the cartridge, the MIG cartridge, a lot more times to get to your game. So if you've got 20 games on here and you want to go from game 1 to game 20, you've got to insert this in and out 20 times. So yeah, less is more. But anyway, like I say, that pops into the side. We'll pop this in, and like I say, it's not very exciting, but just to show you it working. So, this is going to be really awkward with one hand free. So yeah, you pop your cartridge in. I'm trying to show you. There'll be a little LED that will flash up there. And there you go. So now we've got Octopath Traveler 2. And then you basically eject it. It goes green. You eject it again. And it changes. And then you put it back in again. And it switches. So it switches to Snow Bros. So we've gone from Octopath to Snow Bros. I say it's not. And then we've gone back to Octopath. So now if we do it again, now it's Wonder Boy. You get how it's meant to work. So you're sort of cycling through it. Like I say, it's not slick. It's not slick in that respect, but it's workable. And like I said, I'll probably just keep it on one game, guys, and that'll be what I'll be playing. But yeah, it loads up. It does exactly what any other cartridge would do. Again, it's not breaking any walls. It's not, you know, it's not shattering anybody's minds. It's what probably a lot of people have been doing with custom firmware and modded switches for years now. But it's a clean way for me. And that's all it's about. So yeah, like I say, I'm not sure where you can buy one from if you're in the UK. Elsewhere, you'll probably be okay. I think there's a lot of other confirmed distributors, but in the UK, say at the time of going up, there wasn't anyone officially Skin Pixel when I asked them, because, you know, in case someone else wanted one, I did sort of say, oh, are you not carrying these anymore? And I noticed that there's no distribution from Switch MIG's site, and he sort of said, no, we've stopped dealing with them for personal reasons. So I don't know. They are Russian, so anything could happen. Anyway, guys, short and sweet. Like I say, MIG Switch is here. It'll be used just to play games on, nothing more, nothing less. And I'm sure the technology will evolve. I think there's some clones that are due out from China, of course. You know, probably eliminating this eject, reinsert whole cycle. But yeah, they're on their way, and they're being distributed as we speak.